Push
I
that.
can hinge it out to about here, and then it can run.
And it should steady it.
And I can move.
And then in order to change it, you
over.
want to, yeah, you'll have to move that.
But I think that
Up and
is
down.
well,
Yeah.
So down is okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it's just like your regular
it's a
thumb.
long way down.
They are really cool. I like them. They're nice. They keep it nice and steady.
right.
And especially like when you're doing, if you're showing, hey, let me show you my layout. And you're like, oh my God, it's.
It works on this?
Yeah.
When I tipped it over, it must have hurt.
Yeah, these 540 volts are bitch. Like
How do you expect to get in there with gloves?
Don't.
540?
You don't use. Yeah.
Looks like a 440.
No, those are 540.
Because I use 440 all the time on airplanes. Yeah. 440s and 256.
I think those are 540. Yeah. It's for that big bang.
Here's one side of the gasket. That's what I thought it was too, was neoprene in there. The neoprene won't handle steam.
Why'd the ball fall?
I don't know, I was sitting there just turning it back and
Well, I
forth while we
broke
were
it.
talking, all of a sudden it
Ball
quit
come
turning,
out.
and I look in there and the ball's about to come out of it. Just because nothing's holding it in. It just, it just sits in there like that.
Now I'm gonna send the pieces
But
back
when I
to
turned it
McMaster.
over and was still doing it, I got it straight and it just rolled, started rolling.
Did you get this from McMaster Car? Or?
Yeah.
I used to get stuff to do.
So I'm gonna
Yeah.
ship that and the other one that they sent me that failed back.
Yeah, I used to buy a lot of G10 material.
So this trigger must lock it
Okay,
on
yeah.
somewhere.
Oh.
Oh, there you go.
Pretty neat. I need one of those.
So now you can boogie while you're holding that, huh?
Well, yeah, get on the train and it should stay steady.
Why would that
absolutely.
be? Why would that have been inside?
Well, there's one on each side.
But
I know. But
there's
look,
no reason to have.
But look. Well, it was the seal.
Yeah.
I don't know how that was lined up on there like this. I was just turning it and it finally fell. There it is. See, the other one's on the other side like that. So they were right up against us, just like the Teflon on these.
Wow.
I did the math. It came out to about $4.25 an hour.
Wow.
And he did it for the love. He knew the story
worked
about
for
this,
about
and he said,
$4.25
"Tell you what,
an
I'll just get him. I'll just do him for you." And it's like, shit. I mean, they've got all friction bearings in there.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
That's cool.
they're killer.
Good looking. Yeah, because these are a hell of a lot bigger than those.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they got the felt pads in there.
So and these are steel wheels and these are aluminum on the
No.
boxcar?
No,
You're
all
missing
steel.
the spring here,
Really?
Steve.
Yeah, I never got one put
So
back
you
in.
haven't weathered those then yet, have you?
No, I'm gonna. Yeah, I haven't weathered those. Now, if I ever run out of stuff to do on this, those are gonna get all
Yeah,
torn
bring it on the
apart.
parking
and
lot.
painted.
We can weather
We
it
can
up.
weather it. We'll take it. There's some dirt right over there.
We'll
We'll
roll it back here. We'll weather it up.
little water, they're gonna all rust up. That's for sure.
So this is all just water storage?
No,
Well, you gotta
this
get-
is
gotta
water.
get
And
decals
this,
on here though.
Yeah.
He was going to build a
Oh,
box
this is
car,
propane.
that's my
and I
propane car.
said,
But this only
John,
holds about
the
3
guy that
gallons
started
of
this
water.
thing,
The
Mike
engine,
Miller,
gallon and
beer.
a half.
Right.
I said,
Yeah,
"Just make it a Miller
yeah.
reefer. You just put Miller beer
I
on
don't
it."
know.
Yeah.
Pretty quick. You know, so what I'm going to do is just keep some extra jugs of water in the caboose. You know, the case.
Yeah, I was gonna say because this doesn't look like it's gonna hold much.
It doesn't hold much.
I was almost surprised that this wasn't part of it, and you just had this on top, and that would have made it a bigger tank. But
Well, you know, too bad you couldn't make this part of the tank.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
And hold water
Yeah.
too, yeah.
That's what I meant. If this didn't come up, and then you would have just sat on the tank.
The most important part,
And you could have.
Where
put
do you keep the
fill
beer?
hole, like, right there.
The most important part is the Claude.
To make sure you wouldn't have
Right here.
fallen off.
oh, that's where the beer is?
Yeah, see this
Sit on there.
It's
Yeah.
kind of okay. I'm
Pin you on
stuck
there,
up.
wouldn't it?
And that comes off.
And so what we'll do is we just put the favorite beverage in there and then Claude can just reach it.
Yeah. I don't think my fat hand's going to have
you
a
can
beer
get-
can in it and
You
get out of that
can
hole.
get it in, but try to
I'll
get
be
it
like
out.
that monkey who
Yeah.
reaches in the knothole and can't get his hand out.
You can
Get your straw in there anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, would I'd be like that monkey trying to get the nut out of the.
So now
Tree.
that's not a ride. you ride on that one or not?
You can actually,
Yeah.
and I tried it this morning, Claude. I'm gonna have to redesign it because it.
You put foot pegs on
In
it.
theory,
Dump all your stuff in.
the foot pegs are like right. This guy. Fits right like that. But I'm gonna have to come up with a way of
Well,
like put a pin in there or something.
well, what couldn't you just put a brace across here, from here to here? That
Redesign that 'cause
yeah.
these need to be longer.
Yeah, if you just put a back end piece right
Yeah.
here, just like you got in the middle, it would catch this. And it wouldn't,
So
be
this
able
one,
to go back.
And this comes off.
Here comes your propane truck to hook up to it.
You hook up, be fine. I thought the caboose was going to be easy, but
Yeah, I was wondering about this, if I'd even be able to get on this thing. Can't sit that way
you need
either.
one in the front too.
Like I
Can't sit
said,
that way
yeah.
either.
Needs to be redone.
You need one up front.
That was almost Steve's coffee right there.
Yeah, yeah. Keep your hands.
Did you get that? No.
I did. I got
I
it.
could make. I could also get one with the caboose.
Almost was his coffee.
Yeah.
No, but I think with that seat it would be comfortable, but you got to get it where it's
With the
supposed
caboose,
to
you should just be able to go right up the pole.
Yeah. Oh, you stand there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
what
you know, as
weather?
strong as this is, if somebody doesn't weigh as much as Claude does, you know,
That's good for your
That leaves
hemorrhoids
me
right
out.
there.
you could do this, throw a little cushion on there, you're right
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, just an old
You know?
boat cushion would
Yeah.
work.
So actually, that probably makes more sense than that. Because I made this pretty beefy, you know, because that was the whole idea, you know, was to be able to,
Yeah,
you know, ride on it. But
it'll definitely carry the weight. I mean,
I think you know.
oh, that'd carry the weight.
So, are you gonna be able
That
to
won't
put
pull it, but
another
that'll
one?
carry
That won't pull it.
So, how many more cars do you think you can put and pull with this when you think it gets
Let me
going?
think, none.
Well, he was slipping pretty good. I've got video.
Okay.
We'll have to be in a
But
shaded
it was
area
oil,
to
I
show
mean,
you
just
where he
covered
backed
with
it up.
oil though.
But he had some oil up here that he'd come through.
Right,
I mean,
right.
they were doing
Yeah.
this.
Plus, I wasn't able to control that throttle. I mean, I think the ball had already fried before I
Yeah,
even
could
tried
have,
coming
yeah.
out.
Now that's the size you used to have, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
71?
Exactly. But yeah, it's pretty much. You know, on level track, I could probably, you know, pull more, a
Right.
whole lot more, but
Right.
on any grades.
Because I was gonna say, because you have at least one more car that you have to put on it for center.
Yeah, but this is actually going on top of the mountains.
See, I like this one here.
But Train Mountain, they have riding. See that triple riding car over here? Yeah. They've got cars like that. They'll take you over to the back shop. Anybody wants to use them, they'll come up to their train, but they're real heavy. So that added
So, not to be mean, but there's a little bit more show.
Well, not being neat. It kind of, like I told you, with the power.
Yeah, no, I mean, look.
Kind of like me.
Yeah, there you go. That was the sacrifice I made
This is a lot smaller than
when I sold the switch. I knew that I was sacrificing going up the line. Less. What happens is you're using less steam.
right. More pressure though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Less steam, more pressure.
So you're conserving your steam. So
Yep.
that, you know, as long as if you like that, you can conserve your steam. And on these things, I understand that they make it fire because everything's so small that you use steam up really quick. So, you know, like if you want to use your throttle, you know, use
Now
just enough to get it to move.
Now, have you gotten to take this off the tracks and run it?
We mean off.
Yeah,
In other
he
words, so
ran-
that-
he
so that
ran
the
it
whole
at
thing
home.
can-
Well, how long did you have it running?
I had to run it for 6 hours on the stand. But he got this thing fired so hot yesterday to pop both the safety that it just fried that out. Which would, I mean,
Because it was
actually,
right after that when he backed up and it.
yeah.
Because he got back here, and then
Yeah.
when he tried to go forward, it
It's just like wasn't gonna happen. But that
Get it back in gear.
that was not a bad. You know, the first time I fired it up real hot, I'd have fried the valve out there and I'd have had
Yeah.
a mess.
Oh yeah, you didn't want to fry it out on the line somewhere.
No, because you get a runaway.
Yeah.
Because it's running at full throttle, so you got.
Well, I was trying to
You know,
do that here
yeah,
yesterday.
and
we
that's-
pushed it back up.
You know, and that's neutral. Man, they just shut it down.
Because he
and-
got off of it and pushed it forward, and he got it right about here, and the wheels go.
And that's like.
And then he pushed it a little further, and it did it again.
It's
I'm
like
thinking,
that valve
he's getting ready to
shot,
go off in the
yeah.
parking lot.
You know, so if that happens, then it's
Yeah.
shut the fire off and just
That's
slow
what
down.
Steve's like. That's when they got good traction. Is when it was up here wanting to go full
Yeah.
throttle.
Or even without full traction, we could hold this one back. You know, but it's still you don't want to run it off. That would be bad.
The trick is where you grab it. You know, you can't. Everything on there's hot.
Hot,
and it's
yeah.
steamed.
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
my 3rd-degree burns on my hand.
I guess you could grab it here maybe, but then you got to watch the rods and all that mess.
Oh yeah,
Get your
when I did
fingers.
it at the house, I grabbed the manifold. That was the first thing I did. It's like it's like grab something, and it's like you can't grab the wheels. So
I did that once, or almost did that once. I had a plane on a stand at the house.
And Steve, I did it. I grabbed it right here.
Yeah.
It's the cabin for running off the end of my.
Well, now you're hooked up with this, right? You're not going to detach from what you're sitting on, right?
No, it's got just a drawbar.
So I
Yeah.
wondered if you could just put some sort of a bar that you could just grab that's not attached to the engine
Oh no.
for something like that.
Well, yeah, you could grab.
Oh, I could have grabbed
Yeah.
I could have grabbed the running board down here. It would have been fine. It just
Yeah.
happened so fast. It's like grab something.
Yeah.
Like I say, I
And
almost did that with an airplane on a test stand at the house. I fired it up, and stupid me not thinking that stand's going to come over because
Yeah.
it wasn't very long. I fired it up, and I'm in front of the airplane, and I fired it up, and it started to fall, and I went to reach for it, and then went, realized don't stick your hand up there. You
grab
can
the
cut
prop.
your hand off.
Use all your fingers.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
But the height of this, I tested it at home. If there's any lower, I mean, it seems it's awful high, really. But any lower, and your knees start getting sore.
Yep.
And any higher, you're reaching down. So this was almost the optimum height for the seat, really. The only thing is it's a little bit hard to see this motorcycle because you're looking down at it. Sticking out.
Yeah.
You always have to go like that to see it.
It almost scoot it back.
It's as far back as it goes.
Right.
Yeah, the tender's not very big.
No, I have to go back any further. But I think this configuration is better because now I can get the hands in
It's almost like if you could have put your controls on the tender.
Yep.
Your running controls to run it and set back there,
Yeah.
and then you could have had a full cab on there, full roof and everything, and just run it from back there when you were running.
Well,
But
guys with
that's a lot of work there too.
but 1 inch scale and 3/4 inch scale. A lot of guys do that. They'll ride
have to.
on the car behind the
Behind it.
locomotive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've got
They have to.
controls that run.
Yeah, because as tight as this one is, those
Yeah.
are even smaller.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way the Jeep is over there, right? Isn't that a 30? The Jeep 30? It looks like his
Yeah,
controls
his
are.
controls are on the car behind.
Well, that's the way my switcher was too.
Yeah. Yeah, they never ride on the diesel. I
Yeah.
never see a guy sitting on top of
No,
a diesel.
not ever. But yeah, I think I can run the throttle out.
Everybody say hi.
Point. Well, thanks for doing this, Chuck.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to go out to the gate and get a picture of
Chuck
it.
missed Steve spilling his coffee at the restaurant.
Oh, that
I
was.
know.
Yeah.
That was good.
Was it just a cup or was it the whole pot?
It was a whole cup.
Which time?
Yeah, which time?
The second time I caught it on 2 wheels, it didn't go over the second time. Oh man.
Should we go over to the back shop?
Yeah. Okay.
Take a look at the machine shop?
Yeah. Throttle.
Yeah, anyway, we were sitting over on that bench over there,
Turn it off.
and Steve goes, "Yeah, mine's right over there next to that big number 9."
Yeah.
And Brenda's
Right
going,
next to
and Brenda's going where? Because it was sitting under the number 9.
Which was as big as this is.
You got
In a couple of hours, and he can go to 12-inch gauge, 16-inch gauge, 7.5-inch gauge, all in the same tree.
Wow. That'd be cool.
And his daughter's name is Abby. Cute little gal. I think she's got to be 13 now, 12 This is her caboose.
Oh, the little caboose.
This is called.
Oh, this is the one you were telling me about.
This is a booth, and normally you don't touch other people's equipment, but I don't think Matt would mind if I showed you. But
You need this
he's
one.
got it all set up for her. It's all got Wi-Fi, speakers, batteries. She can hook up her. She can hook her cell phone to it, and sit back
Oh,
there.
yeah, she's got. She can bring a friend.
Bring a
She's
friend.
got.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's a very famous. That's the Aboose. Abby's caboose.
That's cool.
The Aboose. But yeah, Matt's a great guy. Super guy.
Well, he's got the release handles on it for the couplers and everything. That's pretty cool.
So
That's the famous Aboose.
Yeah, see, that's what I'd want. I'd want one of these bigger scales like this with the mining cars and stuff. I think that'd be really cool.
Oh, for the longest time, I thought I didn't know that was gas.
Well, I just now realized it was a Shay. Yeah, we walked right by it, but I didn't look at it very close.
This is new. I'm not sure about this.
So what is the little tiny? Oh, he must have battery backup. Or that one that's over there, the one with.
Well, that's small. They're battery operated, but I don't know how big a battery it holds.
Well, it looks like he's
My
got.
guess is that box behind there probably got all of it in there.
No, he was riding around there yesterday on a flat car. He had a flat car with a controller, so I was like, where did put the battery in?
Well, yeah, if it's electric, you could run it just like an RC car or
Yeah. But I'm just saying
plane,
that
yeah.
the engine itself is so tiny.
Yeah.
It's only like that big.
You can't have that big a battery.
Yeah.
my glasses aren't I'm wearing them.
So I'm guessing it just runs a hydraulic pump and everything's hydraulic drive.
So do you get a parking ticket? Or what is it?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, safety
I
test.
think the
Because
pumps
it's
are hydraulic.
Like, that took some work.
Yeah.
Seeing all that stuff.
Well, Matt's very, very knowledgeable on stuff.
Yeah, if you were a machinist and had your own stuff, it'd be so much easier.
Yeah.
to
And
do
he
one of
doesn't
these.
know it, his kid knows it.
Well, or access to one. Yeah, if somebody knows what they're doing.
Well, he's the one that was riding that one when we first moved in. I went over and talked to him, and the one that was riding on the car was the one that had built the locomotive. He built that boiler for scrap in 2.5 weeks, start to finish.
He welded all the tubes and stuff.
He did that whole boiler in 2.5 weeks.